So this is my second month freelancing, and I spent the last 5 months working hard to start my business. I was setting up my websites, I was building my social media presence, I was crafting my newsletter and running my online ads. But guess what? Bills are piling up and clients are nowhere to be found. So this is the story of my first business, when I launched a design agency and, well, it bombed. But how did I get to this point? Let's rewind 5 months back. Back then, I was working a steady 9-to-5 job as a graphic designer. Then, one day, I had a great idea. Why not start my own business? Why shouldn't I work for myself? With zero experience of running a business, I did what I knew the best. I started designing my logo, built my website, cranked up my ads, created visual branding, and even designed my leaflets. You probably can see where this is going, right? 5 months later and still no bites. So how did I go from crashing 2 months into becoming a guy who builds sales funnels and make a good living out of it? In this video, I will show you how to up your marketing game, you will figure out who is your audience, make a product better with their help, and create marketing that actually works. At the end, I will give you a list of actionable steps that help me get out of this situation. This approach will save you a lot of stress and headache, something I wish I knew when I started my freelance journey. So here's the thing that landed me in the tough spot. At this point, I was super focused on getting my portfolio and website together, sending out messages and other things that attract clients. But I totally skipped the biggest elephant in the room. I just put on paper random ideas that sounded reasonable in my head, and that was my marketing. And sure, it looked cool because of the graphic design, but no one was interested in it. So a few days have passed and I noticed that despite my graphic design, the impressive portfolio that I made, and the sleek website I designed, no one was showing in my doorsteps. So I started wondering why no one was biting my offer. But at that point, I had no clue and reason why was that. Therefore, it hit me like a ton of bricks when I finally realized it. The biggest elephant in the room was actually my potential client. Why? Because I never asked myself who I wanted to help and what they needed from me. I forgot to compare my ideas and what I had in my head with the target market and actual clients. So I spent a few days asking people how could I assist them and what they needed from me. I tried to brainstorm a new game plan and create a fresh offer. If you find yourself in the same spot, trust me, do the same thing. Ask people from various Facebook groups and the other communities around the internet what they want to help and how you can help them. And I promise you will get flooded with ideas and messages from folks who are frustrated because they search for solving certain problems, but they don't see any fitting solution. You might not get clients right away because you don't have offer right away, but you can gather their contacts, their information, and in the future they may become your clients. So what did I realize? If you are putting things on the internet and it doesn't stand out, no amount of marketing magic can save you. After plenty of trial and error, I figured out that no matter what marketing trick I tried, my offer was just bad. So at least that was the theory, but what about real life? In practice, I decided to take a step back. I decided to go to my offer and figure out if I can connect my marketing with the offer and with the things that other people say to me. After another few days, I focused on specific areas. I focused on weddings, birthdays, and Christmas. By zooming on those niches, I could really focus on what those folks needed from me. This not only helped me to stand out, but also made my marketing really easy. So I showcased some examples of my work that were perfect for those occasions. And I also gave my website and social media a facelift to better fit my clients. This way I could communicate with them those specific needs and unique questions that they asked me beforehand. Also, I make sure that I was collecting testimonials from each client. And it was a breeze. It was really easy. So I spotted few general problems and the objections that most people had. By addressing them and using exact quotes from what people said, I put together a real effective ads. And I tell you, this strategy works like a charm. Use the voice of other people to get your advertising and message across. But it wasn't perfect. The offer was still a mess. But hey, at least I had more clients, right? So there was no time for kicking back and relaxing. I've got another problem to solve, so I dove in and found a solution. So at first I focused on wedding portraits. People always asked if I could finish it on time and if they could make changes in the final image. So I came up with a plan to split the work into 3 stages. After each stage, a client could give me a feedback. Plus, I decided to set my deadlines at least 2 weeks before the big day. I did that just in case when the final portrait was completed and the client wanted still few adjustments, I could address those adjustments within a week and we still had time to deliver the product to them. This strategy not only made my marketing really effective, but also ensured that people got real value from me. And listen up, because this is really important. Great offer beats amazing marketing every time. And think about it. Having awesome offer makes marketing way easier. This change of mindset can make a huge difference. When your offer is strong and unique, it practically sells itself and grabs attention without much effort. But in the same time, trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds. So I try to come up with better marketing and offer ideas. But it's hard to find those ideas that can actually pull that off. It's not about just getting creative. It's more about getting realistic. What can you do? The toughest things in your workload is to find tweaks that you can manage without overloading you and your team. I learned that the hard way. I was so overworked that when I had free time and sat down for a minute, I was just falling asleep. And don't get me wrong, being creative is super important, but in the same time, you don't want to go overboard. And that's the whole game that you have to play. So how did my story end? The situation was tough and I was super stressed about the freelancing and the business itself. I was really short on money, so I had to be really careful. But in the same time, I switched some things up. I always ensured that every offer that I did was standing out and was tailored to the customer that I was speaking with. This approach led me to more conversions, or more clients in general. And the most important thing was that after each client, I was gathering the testimonial and asking them for referral. I encourage people to spread the word about my business and what I do. This way, I could bring more clients to the table with just enough to keep the things going. And to be honest with you, this period wasn't easy. But in the same time, I learned a ton. So after that time, I came up to the conclusion. Marketing is just an icing on the cake, where the offer is the cake itself. So there is no point in making marketing and the offer separately. So there you have it. You can grab your step-by-step guide and check the link in the description. And you can do it for free, no registration needed. So if you found this video helpful, check out the other video over here. And trust me, it's awesome.